I'm going to open this one up with a message to the Moses Neo. I don't even know how to refer to this guy up in Park City with the Moses Neo complex. I don't want to call him a butt clown, but I don't know, that might be applicable. Long story made short, ladies and gentlemen, when the Neo Moses guy from Park City was about 10, 11-year-old kid, I was beginning the fight. I don't know, about 23, 24 years old, something like that, when he was about 12 or 11. He might have been 11 years old there, Moses Neo. But let's get to the oil and gas attorney that his daddy, I don't know if his dad's still alive or not, but he was an oil and gas attorney there in big old Houston. He probably knew Joseph Jamel or David Speedy Elder. He probably knew Speedy Elder from Sewell and Riggs, I'll bet. And all those Louis Welch. Remember Louis Welch, the ass clown mayor of Houston? And yeah, Kathy, I forget her name, Kathy something, the mayor of Houston. And then you got all these other Whitmire, Kathy Whitmire. How old were you when Kathy Whitmire was mayor of Houston there, Moses Neo? Long story made short, I was working over in uptown Houston for the Interfin, International Finance Corporation there, and the Borlani family, working for Merrick Brothers, Ralph, Pete, Bruce, the Merrick, the Merricks. They're part of that Colony Ridge gang up at Plum Grove. Heath Merrick, I guess he's one of them Merricks. They probably knew Robert L. Vickers from the Running Brook subdivision with W.G. Horn III, and let's see, old W.B. Etheridge and Harold Blackshear from the Western Banks there by the Galleria. They're behind Cutter Bills. And what is his name? Steve and the Powers brothers there. Stephen and Mel Powers, the old Colonial House racket, where they were ripping off HUD for how much money? Catherine Austin Fitz, the FHA director, Kathy Fitz, she knows what I'm talking about. She was working underneath George Bush Sr. She was working under George Bush Sr. Yeah, she was. When all the shit hit the fan with the subprime predatory savings and loans swindle and scheme and scam there with John C. McCone and the Iran-Contra, Charlie Wilson's war cabal, cartels, yeah. Oh, Charlie Wilson, Joanna King, George Bush Sr., George Bush Jr., the Clintons. This story is, it's an old story there, Moses Neo. And Bill Black, what bank were you with before you became the big regulator? Was the bank you were working with, did it crash? And then you went to be a bank regulator, Bill Black? What bank were you with? You say you were a banker. You were a bankster, I guess, in San Francisco? I don't know, Bill Black. And the new Untouchables. I wonder what the new Untouchables were doing when Kathy Whitmire was mayor of Houston. Holy freaking smokes. Yeah, that's a ways back there. And Louis Welch, what were the new Untouchables doing when Louis Welch was the mayor of Houston, Texas, and they were laundering all that money to North and Secord and Bud McFarlane and Robert Owen and the ISIS, the Al-Qaeda, the Mujahideen, Joanna King's mafia there in Afghanistan, and the Shah of Iran, and who were them people there that overthrew the Shah in Iraq? Al-Qaeda? I think it was Al-Qaeda, ISIS. Probably a bunch of Jews working for Milakowski. that Milikowski nitwit, the Yahoo in Jerusalem and Tel Aviv there, the Chabadian Zionist Greater Israel Mafia. Boy, I'll tell you what, there's a bunch of freaking criminals. It's not just Donald Trump, and Khashoggi and Gabanafar. No. It wasn't just what was going on the Trump princess. Mr. Moses Neo from Park City. I appreciate you had a bar mitzvah there, and that you're Jewish, but that doesn't mean I have to give it one single ounce, not even a fraction of an ounce of credibility, because Abraham woke up when he was about, 45, 50 years old, and he decided that God chose him to be the first Jew, according to the Bible they wrote for themselves. How Israel is the chosen of God, according to the Jews themselves. Just look it up, read about it. Now, to clarify, ladies and gentlemen, interstellar space is so old I can't even begin to tell you. It's infinitely old. And God waited around billions and billions and billions of years to invent Abraham. Give me a break. The way it is. And I can appreciate the Messiah, the Savior, the Jesus Christ story. I can appreciate all that story. And I'm not telling you God's not real. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying here is that there's far, far, far too many people in the military industrial complexes of the world, industrial military complexes of the world, that use religion to murder children and mommies and daddies and grandmas and grandpas and brothers and sisters. Slaughtering millions of people apparently is no problem for people like Donald Trump, Bill Clinton, cruise missile Obama there, or cruise missile Soentoro, I guess his name was, Mr. Cruise Missile. And I tell you what, man, this whole Barry Seal, Terry Reid, Clinton, the Clinton dope machine out of Arkansas. The Clinton dope machine out of Arkansas was connected to the Bush dope machine in uptown Houston there. The Lamar Terrace Mafia of room 8F, the Galveston Mafia 8F gang from the Lamar Hotel. And George Bush's residency at the Rice. But you already knew that, didn't you? Mr. Moses Neo, Bill Black, Dan Law, June Carbone, and that other guy, I can't remember his name. It'll come to me here after a little while. But to sum this video up, it was the government that fucked the whole system up. The government did it. It was an inside job. And if you have any problems with me, making that assessment, I want you to read Steve Pizzo and Mary Fricker's book about the savings and loan debacle being an inside job. And then you've got Gretchen Morgensen and Mr. Rossner calling it the reckless endangerment. And then, there's so many other people that know that the government itself, it's the government that did it. My old pals up there to Conroe, Texas, and my old buddy with the U.S. Secret Service, he's over at ConocoPhillips now. He's a security director for ConocoPhillips Oil. Yeah, Rick Williams. And what was that other asshole's name there from my FBI? John Conley. Good old John Conley. And Taylor Bean and Whitaker. What was that jackass's name from Taylor Bean and Whitaker? It's not important. I'll move on. So Mr. Moses Neo when you were a 10, 11-year-old kid, there were people fighting this battle. So this idea that you're Moses and Neil leading millions of people to salvation, they got medication for that. You ought to talk to your doctor. Seriously, I mean, I've been watching some of your the new Untouchable videos, and I'm thinking, damn, man, this guy's, whew, man. I don't know what kind of drugs you did in college, but man, they must have been some good shit. I'm leaving it right there. And for that guy with the black fingernails, excuse me, the guy with the black fingernails, there, old Eric Vaughn. Not on your best day, Eric. I'm sorry, not on your best day. Folks, I'm going to leave it right there. And as always, hasta la vista, God bless. And remember one thing. The government did it with Epstein, Mossad, KGB, GRU, CIA, and, well, you know, Five Eyes. Five Eyes are what's involved in all this. It's the Five Eyes crew and company.